have like the American dream of a YouTube channel. Like I really do. I started it, I mean, I was living the LA nightmare in contrast. I was like, I am going to be a star and move to Los Angeles. This will be great. So I go to college there and I graduate and I'm like, it's time, here it is. And then of course, oops, nothing happens. And I was like poor. Like I was driving for Postmates full time. That was like my big thing. Until, you know, I was like delivering a smoothie on the 4th of July, which was actually like a few days ago, 6 years ago, but that's aside the point. Yeah, and then I like busted up my car delivering the smoothie, so I lost that, and I was like, oh my God. I decided, I was like, oh, I'm gonna film, you know, my broke little life on YouTube as my last ditch effort because it's funny, and I'm like dying and hemorrhaging money, so this will be a funny video. And I showed people like how I like looked rich on a budget. And those videos took off, and bada bing, bada shmoom.
I was looking at some of your early videos, and they had good traffic. But the one where you said how to make cheap things look expensive, that had north of 3-4 million views when I looked at it.
Yeah.
What do you think drove people to watch that?
I think the biggest thing about that video is, it was something different. Like, there wasn't really anything about that on YouTube at the time, which now it's obviously oversaturated because it was a great idea. But I think it was so authentic. It was genuinely me sharing tips that were so good and, like, took my own horn. But they were great. Like, no one had ever done anything like that. This is how you wear faux fur to make it look like it costs $30 million. And, you know, where to buy your cheap jewelry to look like you're engaged to a prince. And I mean, it was great. I needed those tips at the time, and I think other people did too, and it really resonated.
When did you go full-time YouTube? When was the point that you dropped all the odd jobs and said, this is my stream of income?
After I stopped driving for Postmates after July 4th, I was literally had no money, like maybe $30. I was like, we're just gonna do this because otherwise I'm gonna have to move home. So I figured it out. I, you know, again, kept doing some other random acting jobs and blah, blah to make my rent, and filmed YouTube videos. But when that video went viral basically overnight, I was like, oh, I know that people make money doing this. I'd been paid $0, but I was like, I know people can do this and I am going to quit. So I called all my little jobs. I was like, hello, I'm not coming. And they were like, but you're booked to work. And I was like, I don't care. I'm a YouTuber, goodbye. And that was actually very dumb in hindsight. That was really chaotic of me, but I love a good pursue everything, no plan B kind of moment.
No plan B can keep you very, very focused.
It keeps you focused, motivated, and I think, I mean, one of the keys to success, I think myself specifically, has been I am a little bit crazy. And like, I think that you need that. Like, to be in this industry or to do anything, that might be the secret ingredient.
As brands grow, as personalities grow, sometimes teams can grow. But as I speak to you in 2022, how many people are on your team, Amber?
A whopping 1 of 1. You're looking at the CEO and the president and the treasurer and the secretary, the editor, the producer. I do have a manager, so shout out to Ivy. I love you. But other than that, it is me. Like, I do everything all by myself, and I stay proud of that.
Do you sleep?
No. You see me posting Instagram at like 3 a.m. I'm like, hey guys, I'm editing. It's because I am.
What is the hardest part of being a YouTuber?
Oh man. You know, I think for me, the hardest part is separating your real life from your career. And I mean, I don't want to say they're not the same thing. They're very intertwined. It's me and my life is my career. So I'm working 24 hours a day and also never. You know, they always say, yeah, you know, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And that's true. But it's also, you're working all the time. And it's really hard to separate who you are on, you know, in your little internet land from your reality. Because like, oh, well, if the video doesn't do good, then I'm not doing good. And it's like very connected. And I feel like a lot of people, I mean, it's not just me, like a lot of YouTubers and social media people talk about that because it's just it is a toll on your mental health sometimes. It's very, again, team of one. It's me looking at me all day, people's feedback of me. It's like, God, let's do something else. Let's talk about someone else. But you can't because it's about you. So it's hard.
I know the internet is a fickle beast and you can't control everything. And sometimes you work really, really hard on something and it doesn't resonate with audiences, and other times the thing that you wrote, in my case wrote, in an hour and you post online and it does 200,000 views or something like that. How do you manage that ebb and flow and that uncertainty? Because if you're building a brand, you want to see everything going on an upward trajectory, but you can't control how an audience will respond.
I think, I mean, I like to do it, you know, I don't like posting things that I'm not proud of. When those do well, that's great. But if you can stand behind something 100%, like I post this, I'm like, this was good, I love this, I'm passionate about it. If no one likes it, I'm like, I still like it, I think it was good, and I'm glad that I posted it, I'm glad it's out there. So I think just like being able to stand behind your own thing kind of makes the public opinion noise fade a little bit.
I want to talk about being taken seriously, because I think YouTube, it's evolved as a platform. I think it's recognized as a place to build businesses and build brands. But you have a pinned tweet to your Twitter about a date that you went on where the guy proceeded to kind of complain about vloggers and make fun of them, and you didn't say anything. And then as you're walking out, some fans walked up and he had an oops moment, which is a funny story, but how have you thought about being taken seriously? Have you fought for it, or do you just ignore people who don't take the platform seriously because you know they don't know something that you do?
Oh man, that's actually a really good question, because I think, I mean, I'm a young woman, I do present as like, I'm happy and bubbly all the time, and it's like, you know, you wouldn't think that I'm an intellectual and I read and I went to college and all these things, but I mean, I think YouTube is such a fun, kind of flirty platform where you can do whatever you want. It's like, yes, I am just a girl at the mall, but what you don't see is the behind the scenes of all the, like, it is a business, and I am marketing things and doing things like the SEOs and all the things that you don't know about. But that story is real. People are always like, that didn't happen. Like, that happened. I wish I thought of that and was that creative, but I'm not. But yeah, that was hilarious. And I think it is, like, I mean, I used to be embarrassed. Like, people would say, what do you do pre-YouTube? And I was like, I drive for Postmates, or I'm like, I'm either gonna say I drive for Postmates or I'm unemployed. Both are embarrassing, so I won't say either. And then I got embarrassed almost to say I was a YouTuber, because no one took that seriously, especially, you know, important business rooms. They're like, so there's YouTubers coming in and we're doing a product launch or whatever, and they don't care. It's a bunch of people in suits who don't get it. And I think now, I would always lie and be like, oh yeah, I'm in social media, or like I'm in marketing or whatever. Now, I am proud as hell to say, oh, I'm a YouTuber, like, nice to meet you. And I'll go into any room and say that, because that is the coolest thing ever. And, you know, I mean, look it up. Like, YouTube is big business. Yeah, sometimes the face of it isn't what you'd think. But there's a lot of random girls in the mall who are probably banking big on YouTube. So watch out. Don't underestimate us.
How do you think about, if at all, parlaying your YouTube personality, your YouTube brand into a physical product?
Yeah, I think you do have to think about how are you going to make something work forever. And I mean, I look to a lot of other social media people. I mean, the OGs, I know people give them a lot of shit. Can I say shit? I don't know. They give them a lot of trash for, you know, the Kardashians for like, oh, you know, they do a lot of things, and it's like, what do they even do? They built something off of their personality that are now billion-dollar brands that are going to last for the rest of their life. If they faded into oblivion and did nothing forever, they would still have brands self-sustaining them. And that's kind of what I want to do, and what every social media person should do, is because you have the touch of magic, truly. It's like, oh, what do I want to do? I want to sell perfume? Done, I'm selling it. You want to sell makeup? Done, I'm selling it. You want to sell jewelry? Done, I'm selling it. It's successful and it's going to grow, and it can, you know, self-sustain itself. I want to have, you know, I want to be able to leave trust funds to my children, like, that I don't have yet because I'm single. But, you know, in theory, I would love to just be on the real Forbes list, you know?